Good day, grade 11s, and once again we are back together. So this time we'll be looking at general trigonometry. So if you have not subscribed, please just make sure that you're part of the family. Otherwise, make sure that you follow us on our social media and handles. You will find it on the description of this video. Right, now I want us to look at general trigonometry today. And remember, we are looking at the Cartesian plane. Now remember, there are just a couple of things that I want you guys to be aware of when it comes to the Cartesian plane. Right, so we know in this case, first of all, we've got three of our trig ratios. First of all, we've got sine of angle theta, which is y over r. Okay, so the sine of any angle is y over r. In fact, let me just switch that off. Okay, we've got the cosine of any angle. This is x over r. Okay, and this is the tan of any angle will give us y over x. Right, so these are the definitions of our trig ratios with respect to the Cartesian plane. Now, here's our Cartesian plane. What do we need to be aware of, right? So firstly, we know that in the first quadrant, both x and y are positive. So x is positive, y is positive. Now, one thing that I want you to note is that r will always be positive. Okay, right. In whatever quadrant, we always consider r, which is a hypotenuse, to be positive. So in the second quadrant, what do we note? We know that x is negative, right? Y is positive, and r, as I said, is always positive. And in the third quadrant, we know that x is negative. We know y is also negative, so it's in the negative y region, and so r we know is positive. And so for that reason, finally, in the fourth quadrant, we know x is positive, y is negative, and r is positive. Now, once we know this, it gives us actually, a way to actually work around our trig ratios. So we know that in the first quadrant, all of your trig ratios would be positive. So that's all of them are positive, right? And in the second quadrant, I want you guys to note, if I've got y over r, that's positive divided by positive, so that would give us positive. So sine is actually positive. But all the other trig ratios, because you've got x being negative, okay, and r positive, so that means cos is negative. So sine is the only trig ratio that is positive. Okay, so I'm going to put s there. And when I look at the third quadrant, in this case, I know that all the other trig ratios, y is negative and r is positive. And so as a result, that would give us a negative. So as a result, we know that it is only 10. Negative divided by negative would give us a positive. So it would be 10 that becomes positive. Okay? And all the other trig ratios are negative. And finally, in the fourth quadrant, what we do note there, because y is negative, we know that the sine would be negative. We know that cos, in this case, that would be positive divided by positive. So cos would be positive. And so as a result, we know that cos is therefore positive and every other trig ratio is negative. Now, for those of you that do add the co-ratios, in fact, not the co-ratios, but the inverse functions. So your cosec as well as your sec as well. So remember that sec is the inverse of cos, all right? And we know that cosec is the inverse of sine. So that means that it would be sine and its inverse are both positive in the second quadrant, and cos and its inverse, right, which is sec, right, that would be positive in the first quadrant. Now, ladies and gents, I want us to please remember this. So we therefore use what we call our cast diagram. And I want us to jump into an example just now so that we can see how it is that we are going to take questions right, on general trigonometry using the Cartesian plane, right? So we always draw our cast diagram, and that is where we are going to plot our angle, right? Now, what we normally do, ladies and gents, let's say for argument's sake, I'm giving you for the sine of let's say for the sine of theta, which is equal to, let's just make an example and say 3, right? But we will also be given a restriction, okay? So let's say, just for argument's sake, that theta would be an element, okay, between 0, okay, no, in fact, let me rather say 90 to 270, okay? So that give us a restriction. So the first thing that we always do is to always isolate our trig ratio. So I'm going to divide both sides by 4 over there, right? So that the trig ratio is left on its own. Now note, I've got sine of theta is equal to 3 over 4. Now, firstly, I need to ask myself the following question. What is the sine of theta? Well, I know that sine is y over r, okay? So, if I know that sine is y over r, in this case, I also realize that this sine is positive. Now, I'm going to go to my Cartesian plane and try to indicate there, where is sine positive? Right, so sine is positive in the first and in the second quadrant, okay? Right, so remember that sine we said is positive. All of them are positive in the first quadrant, and only sine is positive in the second quadrant. However, they also give us a restriction, right? They say, well, theta is an angle between 90, right? So which means from 90, which is over there, all the way up until 270. So which means theta falls between the second quadrant as well as the third quadrant. So where do we have 2 ticks, right? So you locate where you've got 2 ticks, and that is where your triangle will be. All right, so what we're going to do is just draw our triangle there on our Cartesian plane. Now remember, what did we say? We said sine is y over r, so our y is 3. So I know that on the y side, I've got 3, and I've got my r, which is 4, okay? Right, so I've got 3 over 4. Now, ladies and gents, which means now I need to find out what my x value is. And what are we going to do? We are going to use the Pythagorean theorem. So we know x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared. And so because I'm looking for x, I'm going to say x squared, that's equal to r squared minus y squared. So that will give me, that's 4 squared. I know that my r value is 4. Okay, that's the hypotenuse, minus my y squared. Remember that we said y is 3. Okay, so we say this is 16 minus 9. And I want you to note, ladies and gents, we know that 16 minus 9 would simply give us 7. Okay, but remember that we are looking at x squared, so which means that x, we need to now take the square root. That would be plus or minus. Remember, when I take the square root, I will always say plus or minus. However, I need to now look at where my triangle is on the Cartesian plane to make a decision whether I'm going to take the positive or the negative in terms of my solution. And so what this gives me is that I have got the negative x value here. So as a result, I've got negative root of 7. Right. Now from this, ladies and gents, we can now decide what we can do with this information. Let's just say, for instance, if they said to us, evaluate or find without the use of a calculator. Okay, so I'm going to say without using a calculator. Okay. All right. determine the value of, okay, let's just say 2 sine theta minus cos of theta. Right, so all I'm simply going to do, now that I know what sine is, so I'm going to say, well, 2, remember that sine is y over r, we already have a value for that, okay, minus cos is x over r, okay, so I'm going to say this is 2 multiplied by our y value, right, we already have sine theta, y over r, that's 3 over 4, but even if you go to your table, to your diagram, so that's 3 divided by 4, my y value is 3, and my r value is 4, minus x over r. Now, in this case, my x value is square root, or rather negative square root of 7 divided by 4. R value is 4. And so what would be the value there? So 2 times 3 will give me 6. So I've got 6 over 4 plus, now note, negative multiplied by negative would give me a positive. So this would be plus the square root of 7 over 4. And ladies and gents, my denominators in this case, if I'm going to do this without the use of a calculator, my denominators are the same. So my LCD is 4. And so all I will do is just add the numerators together. So I'm going to leave it in Z form. So this would be my final answer, 6 plus root 7 divided by 4. If they said without the use of a calculator, you can leave your answers in Z form. All right, so I want us to take an example, and we're going to take some more of these as we continue. All right, so let's take one example. They say to us in this example, we've got 3 tan of theta minus 4, which is equal to 0. And they say theta is an element of 180 to 360. They want us to determine the value of 25 sine squared of theta minus 5 cos of theta with the aid of a diagram and without the use of a calculator. Right, ladies and gents, what's the first thing we're going to do? We said we are going to isolate our trig ratio. So 3 tan theta minus 4 equal to 0, right? So if we take that, okay, let's switch this off again. Right, so 3 tan theta minus 4 equal to 0. So we've got 3 tan of theta is equal to 4. And of course, to isolate, we are going to divide both sides by 3. And so the tan of theta would give us 4 over 3. But remember, what is tan theta? That is y over x. Now let's go to our Cartesian plane, ladies and gents. So if we draw this on the Cartesian plane, firstly, where is tan positive, right? We know that tan would be positive in the first quadrant as well as in the third quadrant. Remember our cast diagram, okay? So tan is positive in the third quadrant as well as in the first quadrant. But we need to now find out, we need to find rather the second tick, right? So they said to us theta is between 180 and 360. So remember, this is 180 over here and 360 over there. And so they are saying to us that theta is between the third quadrant as well as the fourth quadrant. Where do we have 2 ticks? Definitely on the third quadrant. So therefore, that means that this is where we are going to draw a triangle. All right, now because I'm trying to get some more space here, allow me to just draw that over there. And so, right. So we said that our y value is 3 and our x value is, y value is 4 and x value is 3. But I want you to note this is in the third quadrant, right? note that x and y must both be negative, right? But you may ask me, but why is it that it's written as positive here? Because they've already worked it out in a sense that if it was negative 4 divided by negative 3, remember that a negative divided by a negative would give me a positive, so we end up with 4 over 3. But when we take it back to our Cartesian plane, we are supposed to show the sign for both the y and the x value. So now we're going to look for the r value. So we're going to say r squared is equal to x squared plus y squared. And so that gives me negative 3 squared plus negative 4 squared. And so that would be 9 plus 16. Okay, so r squared is equal to 25. And remember, we said that r is always positive. So when I take the square root in this case, okay, I will say plus or minus, but we're going to definitely go with the positive answer because r is always positive. Okay, so let's go to the next point. Right, so what did they want us to evaluate? They said we must evaluate in this case, right? So this is what we have, 25 sine squared of theta minus 5 cos theta. Right, so we've got 25 sine squared of theta minus the cosine of theta. Now I want you to note, ladies and gents, we've already located, okay, where we've got our trig ratio. Sorry, this is minus 5, the cos of theta, before I get that incorrect. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to say, well, this is 25 sine squared of theta, so this is 25. Now remember, sine is y over r, right? That's squared, minus 5 times cosine is x over r, right? So this is going to be 25, our y value. Remember from our triangle, so that's going to be minus 4 divided by 5, so that's negative 4 over 5, but remember it is all squared, minus 5 times our x value. We found that to be negative 3, right, divided by 5. Right, so we pick that up. Remember that this is x over r. Our x value was negative 3, and our r value is 5. So we end up with 25 into, right, this is going to be 16 over 25, right, when we square that, okay, minus, we've got 5, right, negative times a negative would give us a positive, right, so negative times that negative over there gives us a positive, okay, and we've got 3 over 5, so we have 3 over 5 there. And so what happens? The 25 cancels out with the 25. We've got 16 plus the 5 and the 5 cancel out. We've got 3. And so our final answer will be 19. And that is how the cookie crumbles. Ladies and gents, I want you to take note of how we actually go about this. It is really quite an easy section to go through. And in our next video, I'm going to show you how to actually work through some of the examples that we've got in this section, right? I am going to do some more examples on this, and I want you to note that, and we're going to do as many examples as we possibly can. For now, I'm going to leave it here, and hopefully you were able to follow on into the lesson. I'll see you guys next time, and please don't forget to subscribe and to like. I'll see you guys in the next video. Sharp, sharp.